Akwaaba, guys. Good afternoon, Akwaaba, and welcome to everyone. Today's Sunday, the 14th of February. My name is Mark, and yeah, welcome everyone to another session. Hope everyone's had a good week. What we're going to be doing today? Today we're focusing on the glutes. Haven't done glute class before, so yeah, hope it goes well. If you haven't joined in before, yeah, do, as I always say, go at your own pace, listen to your body. Really try and focus on your breathing. I'm going to start with a quick breathing exercise. Give it a nod to anyone joining in. Hey, Natalie. Lovely to see you, Natalie. I think I missed you when it's your birthday in January, or was it December? Happy belated birthday. Queen P and D-Man. Hope your Monica's with you as well. Hi, Monica. But yeah, let me stop guessing. If you've got a block or a tool book, keep it to hand, and also some water maybe. But yeah, let's get cracking. We're going to start on our feet today. Very quick breathing exercise. So let's take our feet just beyond hip distance apart. Both feet are angled out slightly. Let's say 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And let's take our palms so they're facing down. Just close your eyes for a couple of seconds. Bring yourself to the mat. Just start to feel centered and grounded. Really feel the ground beneath your feet. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. And on the exhale, start to bend into the knees. Let's start to come down. On the inhale, flip the palms over. Start to straighten out the legs. Flip the palms over again. As you press down, start to bend into the knees on the exhale. And again, inhale to come up. Flip the palms over. Exhale to come down. And again, inhale to come up. And this time as you exhale, really start to switch in your glutes. Start to bring awareness to your buttocks. Inhale to come up. I'm going to go down again. Let's come up for one more. Inhale to come up. And exhale to release. Just take your feet just beyond hip distance, just to a space that you're comfortable with. You don't have to go super wide, just beyond hip distance. And what we're going to do a lot of in the class is there'll be some isometric exercises where we're holding into the pose. There'll be lots of massaging into the glutes and also just bringing awareness. And then you probably start to realize how much we don't use them and how much we don't engage them. And that will help to also build strength. So on the next, let's all inhale together. And on the exhale, again, bend into the knees and see if you can go a little bit further than you did before. And we're going to hold it there. And that's what holding. Just take your hands and just bring them to your buttocks and consciously switch on your glutes. Really tense them up. You might start to feel some engagement for your thighs. Try and keep your torso nice and straight. But really squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And on the exhale, push up from the heels, engaging for the glutes as you come up. Inhale. And on the exhale, releasing down. Again, you release into a position of comfort, and we're holding, and again, turning on our glutes, really firing them up. Keep holding for another 3, another 2, another 1. And as you push up, really push up from the heels, come to another standing position. I'm going to go for one more. So take a deep breath in through the nose. And on the exhale, again, bend from the knees, keep your torso nice and straight. Avoid collapsing, just go towards your edge here. And I'm going to hold for another 3. Again, maybe take your hands to your buttocks. Really switch on your glutes. 2. And 1. And then push up from the heels to come up straight. Let's turn and face the front of our mats. We're going to come all the way down. Let's come down to a child's pose. So take your knees apart and your feet together. And you start to walk the body in between the knees. Slowly bring your forehead towards the mat. Lengthen that through the arms. Just find yourself again nice and grounded. As you're breathing here, when you breathe in, take your breath consciously towards your glutes. Take a deep breath in. Feel yourself oxygenating that area, and on the exhale, release. And again, inhale and exhale. On the next inhale, going to push up onto your hands and the knees. As you push up again, engage your glutes to help bring you up. And why are the glutes so important? The glutes really full protection towards or to our lower backs. It's a really good a muscle group to be conscious of, particularly if you're a runner. Just start to rock forwards and back on the hands. Just bringing a gentle motion and movement to our shoulders here. And slight movement to our backs as we start to warm up the body. And it's all come back into a neutral tabletop. So our hands are and our knees hip distance apart. We're going to start by lifting up that left leg and pointing that heel towards the back of the room, drawing our toes in towards our face. You're going to lift our right arm up and point it right in front of yourselves. The right palm is facing the left side of the room. On the inhale, see if you can lengthen any more further. And on the exhale, let's go knee to nose. Let's curl around in for the upper back. On the inhale, let's go nice and straight. On the exhale, again, round for the upper back. As we go knee to nose, elbow to our hip. On the exhale, we're going to go and lengthen out again. Really bring awareness to your core here. And let's go one for one more. Inhale to draw in. And hold for 3, for 2, for 1. Once again, let's lengthen out. From here, we're going to just pulse that left leg up. You can take that right hand down. And just pulse that left leg up for a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold it at the top. And as you're holding, again, start to switch on your left glute if it's not burning already. And then slowly start to bring that left leg, that left knee back down towards the mat. And once again, find yourself in a neutral position. We're going to take the other side. So start by lifting that right leg up, pointing your heel towards the back of the mat. So your right leg is parallel, drawing your toes in towards your face, and taking that left arm forwards. On the inhale, going to lengthen. And on the exhale, we're going knee to nose. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale to lengthen. So final one here. Exhale, knee to nose. And the last inhale, going to lengthen that right leg back. Maybe bring your left hand down to join the right front of the mat. And again, we're going to pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going. 6, 7. You might start to feel a bit of burn in your right hip as well. Really bring engagement and awareness to your right glute this time. And your last one, on 10, we're going to hold. 3, for 2, for 1. Well done, guys. I'm going to start to bring our right knee back towards the mat as we find ourselves again in tabletop. Let's take a deep breath in and exhale out. On your next inhale in, we're going to start to lift. Keep our left leg at a right angle. Feel nice and grounded with the hands in front of the mat. On the next inhale, start to lift your left leg up off the mat and out towards the side. Just take it as far as you can go, keeping it as a right angle. And then bring it back towards center. Just hover it off the mat. On the inhale, we're going to take it up. And on the exhale, bring it back. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, draw it back. On the next inhale, we're going to draw it up and hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring your right knee back down. Right knee. Here we go. Right and left mixed up. Bring your left knee back down. We're going to switch and take the other side. So we're ready. You feel nice and grounded in your hands. On the inhale, start to lift that right knee up off the mat. Keep your leg at a right angle. Start to draw it out towards the side. On the inhale. And on the exhale, bring it back. Just hover it off the mat. Inhale to go up and wide. And exhale. Start to draw it back in towards center. You might find that one side is got a bit more flexibility or room than the other. On the inhale, come up. This I'm going to hold it for 3, for 2, for 1. And keep holding. And start to bring that right knee back towards the mat. If you find yourself again in your tabletop, again, just rock forwards and back on the hands. Just bring some final movement into your back. As we find ourselves again on our neutral tabletop, let's curl the toes under, push into the feet, start to lift the knees up off the mat, and let's come into our first downward facing dog. So you come into that inverted V shape. You've got a sense of equal distribution between your hands and your feet. Maybe come high on the toes. And then start to draw the heels towards the mat. Just take your time to walk out your legs. And let's all come into a neutral position. So energetically, you're drawing your heels towards the mat. Again, they may not reach. That's all good. On your next breath, let's come high on the toes. We're going to start to bend into the knees. So high on the toes, we're bending into the knees. And from here, we're going to fire our bodies forward to come into a high plank. And your next breath, you're going to come back, left out the arms, bend into the knees again. We're high on our toes. You've got that modified downward dog shape going on. From here, again, we'll switch on our glutes to really push forward to come back into high plank. Really testing your upper body strength here. And on your next breath, let's come back again to that modified down dog. I'm knackered already. Let's keep going. Take a deep breath in. As again, you switch on your glutes. Let's push forward onto the toes to come into that high plank. Let's hold it for 3, for 2, for 1. And let's come back to our regular down facing dog. Take a deep breath in for the nose. And on the exhale, just soften into the shoulders. Let's
Come high on the toes. Start to tiptoe as we all meet at the front of our mat in a ragdoll. Just sway from side to side. Maybe taking opposite hands to opposite elbows. Have a soft bend into the knees. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale out. For your next inhale, stay nice and heavy with the body, the torso, the arms, the head, the neck. Start to roll up, and as you're rolling up, again, we're bringing awareness to our glutes. We're engaging through the core. See if that feels any different this time. Quite often when we do that, we might just roll up without any sort of awareness of our glutes. Again, let's just take our hands just to the crease of our buttocks as we're standing up into Tadasana. And together again, just engage your glutes. Just feel that tension, that firmness come in. And then relax. And again, engage. And relax. One more. Engage your glutes, really fire them up. And relax. So we're really going to be bringing awareness to our glutes for the remainder of the class. We find ourselves in Tadasana. Start to bring your feet together. Your arms at either side of your body. On the inhale, draw your arms up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, as you're coming down and bend from the hips and get engaged with the glutes. And come down. Let's come to halfway lift, hands to the shins. Lengthen out through the back. Take your gaze just beyond the front of the mat. Place your hands back down. And step the left foot back. And the right foot to join the left. As we all meet in our high plank. Rock forwards and back on the toes. On your next rock forwards, we're going to bend into the elbows, come all the way down. Uncurl the toes here. Let's take our arms out in front of our bodies. We're placing our elbows underneath our shoulders, placing our palms onto the ground as we come to Sphinx pose. From here, what we're really looking to do is press the front of our feet into the mat. Again, engage through your glutes, which will start to lift our knees up off the mat. It's an isometric contraction that we've got going on here. Keep engaging as your chest is up off the mat. And then relax the glutes. Relax the thighs. Just let your ankles just fan out. This time, place our hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to press up into an upward facing dog, and as we do, again, bring engagement into your glutes. As your cheeks meet one another, you're pressing into the feet. As your knees are off the mat, and together, let's curl the toes under as we come into a down facing dog. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. For your next breath, let's jump or step forward towards the front of the mat. Our feet are hip distance apart. So we're meeting our ragdoll. On the inhale, coming to a halfway lift. Hands to our shins. Lengthen out through the back. And on the exhale, release down. On the inhale, we're going to come into chair pose. So we're going to bend into our knees, start to draw our hips towards the ground. And our arms are going up towards the front diagonal. Again, we've got an isometric contraction going on here. Engage through your glutes again. And fire up through your thigh muscles. Holding it for 3, for 2, for 1. And on your next breath, let's fold forward. Again, meeting in our ragdoll. On the inhale, come up to a halfway lift, lengthen out the arms, shine out through the back. On an exhale, let's come down, bringing our hands towards the mat. On the inhale, bend into the knees as you come nice and tall. Trying to touch the ceiling here. And on the exhale, take our prayer to the center of our chest. On the inhale, go nice and tall with the hands. And on the exhale, bend from the hips as you draw your prayer through your chest as you come down to our forward fold. On the inhale, come up to a halfway lift, hands to our shins, roll the shoulders back. Exhale to come down. On the next inhale, again, we're going for a chair pose. So again, bend into the knees, start to bring your hips towards the mat and your arms towards the front diagonal. Again, we're holding it for 3, for 2, for 1. Now stay in this posture here. Or if it's there for you to level up, start to bring awareness to the left sole of the foot. You want to lift that right foot up and place it, just on the left thigh. Embrace any shakes or wobbles you've got going on here. It doesn't have to look pretty or perfect. If you find yourself nicely balanced on the left foot, again, start to bend into that left knee and take your arms up towards the front diagonal. And this time, bringing awareness to our left glute. So start to fire up through that left glute, which in doing so, you'll find yourself switching your left thigh. I'm going to hold it here for 3, for 2, for 1. Start to lift that right leg up. And let's dive down as you'll meet in our forward fold. And take a halfway lift, hands to the shins, roll the shoulders back. And on the exhale, place our hands at the front of the mat. Let's step the left foot back and the right foot back as we meet in our high plank. From here, take our right hand and place it into the center of the mat at the front. We'll come into side plank. So for the first one, let's drop into our right shin and then drop our left heel towards the mat. As we come into the modified side plank, on the inhale, going to start to open up the chest towards the left side of the room. And if you want to level up, and again, bring some awareness to your glutes, you can go for that full expression by stacking that left foot on top of that right foot. Maybe keep your left hand on your hip and take your left arm up towards the sky. Becomes that banana shape. We're holding it for 3, for 2, for 1. Let's bring our left hand back down towards the front of the mat. And on the exhale, I'm going to bend into the elbows and come all the way down. So we've done a couple of isometric exercises there where we're holding. Let's come back into Sphinx pose. So again, take your elbows just underneath your shoulders. Your forearms are flat on the mat and your palms are facing in towards the floor. You're going to activate the posterior chain. The muscles at the posterior of the body, bringing again awareness into our glutes. So you're pressing your feet into the mat. As you start to engage your glutes, you'll start to lift your knees up off the mat. And you're drawing your chest in between your arms in Sphinx pose, but with greater awareness to activating that posterior chain. The posterior chain also includes our deltoids and our traps. So if we're nice and tall with your torso, keep the hold going. And on the next breath, start to bring your body down towards the mat. Let's place our hands underneath our shoulders. We're going to push up As we will come up into our upward facing dog, again, shining our chest in between our arms, activating our glutes, and on the exhale, curl the toes under as we all meet in our downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Let's jump or step forwards as we meet in the front of our mat. Our feet again are hip distance apart. On the inhale, come up to a halfway lift, roll the shoulders back, keep our gaze just beyond the front of the mat. And on the exhale, release. On the inhale, bend into the knees as we come up to our chair pose. Our arms are going to the front diagonal. This time, see if you can drop your hips a little bit further down. Again, we're going for that anterior tilt of the pelvis. So engage through your core. Draw your pelvis forward. And as you engage into your glutes, you probably start to feel the shakes. And hold it for another 3 and 2 and 1. And on exhale, lengthen out the legs. Let's dive forward. So bring our torso forward so we'll meet in our forward fold. On the inhale, let's come up to a halfway lift. Hands to the shins. Roll the shoulders back. And on exhale, fold forward. Again, with our feet hip distance apart. We're going to come again into our chair. So again, start to bend into the knees. As you bring your hips towards the mat, bring your arms out towards the front diagonal. Engaging with both glutes here. Feel a sense of softness in your feet. You're not gripping, you're not tensing into your feet. And all your engagement is coming into your glutes. And as you do, you'll find your thighs switching on. Once you feel nice and grounded through that right foot, if you level up, start to lift that left leg up. And just cross that left leg over so it sits parallel to the floor and just on top of your right thigh. If you're on a normal chair, keep holding. Once you find your balance, maybe take your arms back up towards the front diagonal and see if you can bend any more into that right knee. And then this time you're bringing awareness to your right glute. Another 2, another 1. Lift that left leg up, place it down, and together let's all fold forward. Inhale, let's come to a halfway lift, hands to the shins, roll the shoulders back. And on the exhale, bring our hands to the front of the mat. Step the left foot back, and the right foot to join the left. As we all find ourselves now plank pose. So we're going to take the other side of side plank. So I'm going to place our left hand in the center of the mat, drop into that left knee, that left shin, drop into that right heel. And on the inhale, start to open up the body towards the right side of the room. We're holding here for 5 breaths. Again, it's there for you to level up. So you can lengthen that through that left leg. So the right leg stacks on top of the left leg. It's another isometric exercise here as we're holding. As you're holding, start to squeeze your butt cheeks together. For another 3, 2, 1. Whichever your pose you're in, let's start to bring that right hand to join the left at the front of the mat. As again, we find ourselves in our high plank. Let's rock forwards onto the toes and come all the way down to the mat. Uncurl the toes. So find ourselves into our Sphinx pose again. So our forearms are on the mat, our elbows are underneath our shoulders. Start to draw your chest through your arms. Press your feet into the front of the mat, into the mat. Engage through your glutes. And as you do, your knees start to lift up off the mat. Holding it for another 2 breaths. Another 1. And on the exhale, start to bring your chest towards the mat. Place your hands underneath your shoulder blades. Together, let's all push up into our upward facing dog. And on the exhale, curl the toes under as we meet in our downward facing dog. Remember to listen to your body. At any time, feel free to come to child's pose. Take a sip of water. We're in downward dog for another 3 breaths. Start to bring the heart rate, start to tune ourselves into our heartbeat here. Notice whether it's beating super fast. Take a deep breath in for the final one. And exhale out. On your next inhale, start to lift your right leg up. So it's parallel of the mat. You're curling your toes in towards your face. And your next breath, you're going to take that right knee all the way through and place the right sole of the foot at the center of the mat. You're high on your back toes as I'm going to start to come into crescent lunge. So you're keeping a bend into that right knee. Once you feel nice and grounded, start to lift your torso up off your right thigh. You're high on your back toes. You're pushing that through your back heel. Engage through your core. To lengthen that through your torso. On the inhale, start to draw your arms up to either side of your ears. On the inhale, I'm going to lengthen up. On the exhale, I'm going to start to bend into that left knee and start to bring that left knee so it just kisses the mat. You're not collapsing into that and touching the floor. And on your next breath, push up and come back into crescent lunge. Let's go again. Start to bend into that left knee. Switch on through your right glute as you fire it up to come back up into high lunge. Let's go for one more. Again, I'm going to bend into that left knee. And I'm going to hold it for 3, for 2, for 1. On an exhale, push up. And then start to lean your body forward. So it's about as if you're about to take off. Your arms at either side of your body. So you find yourself into another isometric exercise here. As we're holding, we're engaging again. We're switching on through our left thigh and our right buttock, our right glute. Keep holding for another 2, another 1. And your next breath, let's come up to our high lunge. And on the exhale, bring both hands towards the front of the mat. Step the right foot to join the left foot at the back of the mat. As you all find ourselves in our high plank. So sort of falls onto the toes, bend into the elbows as you come down for low plank. Push through as you come up into our upward facing dog. Curl the toes under as we meet in our downward facing dog. And just take the other side. This time I'm going to lift our left leg up, curling the toes in towards the face. That left leg is parallel with the mat. And in your next breath, start to draw that left knee all the way through the body, placing the left sole of the foot at the front of the mat. And we're high on our back toes. Once we're nice and grounded on the inhale, start to lift the torso up off that left thigh. So find ourselves in our high lunge. So we're high on the back toes, pushing that through the back heel. Engage through your core as you bring your arms up either side of your ears. And again, on the inhale, we're going to lengthen. And on the exhale, just bend towards your edge as you bring your right knee towards the mat. And on your next breath, lengthen up through that right leg as you come up. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, start to bend into that right knee. And on your next breath, push back up. Let's go for one more.
Inhale to lengthen the arms up. Exhale, let's bend into that right knee and hold for 3, for 2, for 1. On your next breath, let's push up into our high lunge. This time, we're going to start to lean the body forwards. Again, take your arms, so it's either side of your body, and engage through your right thigh here, and this time your left quad. So really fire it up. As we're here for another 3, another 2, another 1. On the inhale, let's go nice and tall. Let's come up to our high lunge and cut all the hands down towards the front of the mat. Step the left foot to join the right foot. At the back of the mat, we find ourselves now high plank. We've got 4s into the toes. Bend into the elbows for a low plank. I'm going to push up. Just come up for our upward facing dog. Curl the toes under as we all meet in our downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. On your next breath, let's come high on the toes and walk your feet towards the front of the mat. Going to start to bend into the knees and come into a seated position on the mat. If you've got a block, just have your block handy. You want your feet hip distance apart, the soles of the feet on the floor, bend up through the knees. So you're sitting on high on your bum. And in your next breath, let's start to just roll down, massaging that through the bum. As we take our backs towards the mat. So bring your feet a bit closer towards your bum, just as far as it will take so you can just scrape, or your heels are within touching distance, and that's perfect. We're going to come up into a supported bridge. So if you've got a block or a tall book handy, I'm going to place this just underneath the lower back, our sacrum. So from here, again, our feet hip distance apart. You really push into our heels. Start to lift our hips off of the mat and take that book or that block, either lengthways or widthways, whichever's best for you. And just place it underneath your lower back, just to a position of comfort, so you feel balanced. And it helps you to maintain integrity of the pose here. Again, just check again so you can scrape the back of your heels. Just a lovely pose to come into for your hips as well, and also if you're experiencing lower back pain. So for the sake of not just hanging out here, just take both hands and again, just take it towards the crease of your upper hamstrings and your buttocks, and then start to just engage into your glutes here. So really fire and turn them on, and then relax. As you relax, don't let the knees flare out to the side. Just keep them where they are. You've still got engagement through the soles of your feet. On an inhale, again, engage through your glutes and squeeze for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. On your next breath, start to lift your hips up off the block or the book. Place a block to one side. Start to release through your upper back, middle back, lower back as you bring your back towards the mat. Place your feet together and your knees apart. Place your left hand on your heart, your right hand on your belly. Take a deep breath in and relax. We're going to now go into the full expression of our bridge. Again, as you raise your hips up off the mat, just go towards your edge. Don't overdo it or seek to come to any discomfort. So again, let's just see if we can scrape the back of our heels. So we've got nice distance. Once you feel ready, take a deep breath in. And on exhale, press into the feet as we lift our hips off the mat. And as you're lifting your hips, you're bringing full engagement to your glutes. So really you're firing and using your glutes here to support your lower back. As you do, you'll find engagement for your thighs. You might come into the shakes a little bit here. I'm going to hold for another 3, another 2, another 1. Slowly start to release from upper back, middle back, lower back. So bring your back flat onto the mat. Again, put your feet together and your knees apart. Again, left hand on the heart, your right hand on your belly. We can once again repeat bridge pose. Or if you really want to fire up your glutes, there's a modification we can now come into. If you're going into bridge pose, then just repeat what we did just now. Otherwise, again, take your knees that are pointing towards the ceiling. See if you can scrape the back of your heels. This time, you're going to inhale to bring our right knee in towards our chest. Take an interlace of the right knee with both hands. And on the inhale, this time I'm going to push into the mat the left foot, sorry. And hold it there. This time release your left hand. Place your left hand behind your head. Start to round in to the upper back. And on your next breath, start to bring your hips down towards the mat. And on the inhale, you're pushing back up into the foot. And go for 5 more of these. So hip comes down, push into the mat as you come back up. Hip goes down, push into the left foot as you come back up. 2, 1, and hold. 3, 2, 1. Whatever posture you're in, start to come down. Upper back, middle back, lower back. Again, feet together, knees apart. Let's go for one more bridge pose. Otherwise, again, we're going to take that modification on the other side. So this time it's our right foot pressing into the mat. So first bring your knees so they're pointing in towards the ceiling. Touch the back of your heels. When you're ready, start to draw your left knee this time in towards your chest. Take the interlace of the left hand around the left knee. Start to lift your head up off the mat. Place your hand behind your head. And on an inhale, start to press into your right foot to lift your hip off the mat and start to drop your hips towards the mat. Your left knee comes forward. And your next breath, you're coming back and your hip goes high. Your hip goes low. Hip goes high. Another 3, 2, 1. As you come up and you're holding, really engage for your right quad, your right glute here. And then start to bring your left foot down. Bring your feet together, your knees apart. Place your hands, left hand on your heart, your right hand on your belly. Got one more pose to finish up. Start to draw your knees in towards your chest. Just massage out through your lower back here. Take it clockwise and then anti-clockwise. And then we're going to take our right foot, our right leg, and wrap it over our left leg. You place that left foot on the mats. Take your right leg over your left leg, so you're in a cross-legged position. or you got your legs crossed as if you're sitting in a chair. I'm going to go for supine twist. This is a slight modification, slight variance here. So start to bring both knees over towards the left side of the room. Take our left hand, place it just on the outside of the right thigh. And then start to take your gaze over towards the right side of the room. Again, don't worry if your knees don't touch the floor. You can use a block or a book just to support the knees. And on your next breath, let's start to take both knees back up towards center. And then we're going to just quite simply reverse the wrap. So this time it's the left leg going up and over the right leg. We're going to shift our hips over towards the left side of the mat and start to bring your knees and drop them over towards the right side of the room. You can just go as far as your body will allow you today. Place your right hand just on top of that left thigh and take your gaze over towards the left side of the room. Okay, next breath, let's bring both knees back up towards center. Unwrap the legs. And just tuck in both knees into your body. I'm going to just rock up and down over the lower back. Coming into the top of the glutes. And just massaging out those areas of the body. One more rock up. And lengthen out through your legs. And then slowly start to bring your body down towards the mat. Close your eyes for Shavasana. Just release any gripping, any tension you might have in your jaw. Just let your body hang out here. Just give yourself a shake out for your glutes. Switch them on and off. As you shake out through the hips. One more time, let's just tense up through both your glutes. For 3, for 2, for 1, and then relax. As we come into Shavasana, just close your eyes here. Stay here for a few breaths. Now feel free to stay in Shavasana. No need to come out if you're ready. You can bend your knees in towards your chest. And then rock up into a seated position. Maybe come sitting on a block or your book if you've got it handy, or a roller. I'm going to bring my roller out for this one. Actually, before we finish, I'll just, for the last minute or so, if you do have a roller, I never had a roller until late last year. But a roller is excellent for just massaging out different areas of your body. I get a lot of tightness in my hips, in my glutes, and also my hamstrings. So just by doing some general exercises like this each day, it's really good for massaging out any tightness you might be experiencing. We also did bridge pose earlier, another one which I really enjoy, which is equally as good for the hips, is just to take the roller so it sits just underneath your lower back, and then just bring your back down towards the mat. Either keep the knees up or let your knees go out to the sides and bring your feet together. That just creates openness through the front of the body. We can also take a
supported version of Viparita Karani with the block underneath your lower back and taking your legs up towards the ceiling. So for those of you who might wonder why the block is just sitting there in the video, that's what I tend to use it for. So yeah, just come to a seated position. And as we're here, again, as we finished up, everyone just tense up through your glutes, just bring some engagement to your glutes. Yeah, quite often the best exercises we can do for different parts of our body is really bringing awareness to them, engage with them, and coming to, as I said on a few occasions during that class, isometric exercises. So where we're holding into different postures. If you want to build some strength in your quads, then quite often you see people doing exercises where they're sitting on an imaginary chair against the wall. That's a really good one for firing up your glutes and your quads. And all these exercises, as I said, help give you added support to your lower back and also to your knees. So whether you're typing at a desk or if you're a runner, if you're a cyclist, if you're into your weights, glute exercises are great. Anyway, I've been gassing a lot. Let's close our eyes, bring our hands to our chest. Again, just thank yourselves for rocking up and breathing with one another this Sunday. I was a bit out of breath today, so apologies if I was getting my words in a jumble, my lefts and my rights. But yeah, everyone have a great week ahead. Thank you. I did go over today, sorry about that, but I did want to show you what I used the roller for. But yeah, just try and if you can't fit in a yoga session yourself every day, because we're all short of time, just try and do just little things that brings some sort of engagement or movement to the bodies. When I brush my teeth, I tend to balance on one leg and just do leg dips, which is really sad, some might say, but it just gives me the consistency of being able to do that. And again, that just strengthens the quads, which protects the knees. I've got dodgy knees. So yeah, there's little things you can do. So any element of what we did there today, again, I think it was the crescent lunge and the knee dips. That's a really good one, really tough as well. But anyway, I've gone over time. I hope everyone is good. Thanks for the feedback, D-Man. And B, let me move a bit closer. Queen P, really good advice. When we did the first chair pose. I love the comment from your daughter, D-Man. But look, thanks again. Thank you, Monica, for the suggestion. It made me think a lot about different exercises to bring into the class. I hope you found it useful. Again, as always, just hit the like button if you found it enjoyable and spread the word. And also give me any suggestions of what you found a bit tough or what could have been explained a bit better. And also what you want to see in 2 weeks' time. Next week, we'll return with flow. Anyway, I'm off to drink a lot of water now. Have a great Sunday, and I'll see you next week. Take care. I'll keep this going for another minute or so, so hit me back if any comments and the like.